What is up, everybody? Welcome to Motor Time, episode 15.
Yeah,
15. Just
15. I can't believe
crazy.
it. 15.
So, well, as always, my name is Dan. I am joined with Mr. Craig. How are you this week, Craig?
Oh, good, good. It's always great. Tuesdays, I always look forward to talking to you and finding out what's going on up, north of here. We've got some great weather, especially today. It's like 65, 70. So, we see lots of bikes getting out. I don't know about you. It's still maybe a touch cooler, but we're starting to get into that time where bikes are out a lot.
Yeah, this past weekend there was a lot of bikes out. I would say Saturday was probably one of the nicer days that we've had. Still a little bit chilly, but definitely you can start seeing more and more motorcycles out on the road, and even some sports cars and stuff like that. I've been seeing, people are dusting off that old, Corvette or Camaro and going to get some gas in it, run it through its paces. But you know that the riding season's coming because I'm starting to see all these bike blessings and
Yeah,
car shows, bike shows.
for sure. My Facebook feed is like full of them. I think there were 4 or 5 today that popped up, and I was like, "Holy smokes, man! It's really getting time."
Well, I mean, Easter's this Sunday, so that's usually right around when everything starts coming into swing. And then 2 weeks we got, well, next week we have um, bike night at the
Yeah,
square
for sure.
in Salem. If anybody is listening, then knows where Salem is. But Salem, Indiana, has a bike night. Maybe Craig, you can elaborate a little bit about that.
Yeah, so bike night at Salem started, I don't know, probably 3 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. And just kind of a whim, the guy that puts it on, Derek Bruff, just kind of wanted to get everybody together, and he put it out there. Hey, we're going to meet at the square, and kind of just hang out from 6 to 9. And the first year, it was good. You had 10, 15 bikes every night, and then last year it kind of grew quite a bit last year. You had 50, 60 bikes there, which, if you're talking a big city, that's not a huge bike night, but for, a little town of Salem, for sure, that's a great turnout. There's always, all kinds of different bikes there. You can see, brand new Harleys. People have just got them, with 300 miles on them, all the way down to something that somebody's cobbled together out of junk from a barn find somewhere. So, kind of a nice mix and match there. Derek does a great job. The last one that he put on last year had a band, along with food trucks and pinstriping and stuff. So he's always working on something, having somebody new come. I believe for the first one, I don't think there's a band, but there is Shocky's meat truck going to be there with some food. So if you're looking for something to do, that is not Easter Saturday, but it is the following Saturday. I think the date's the 26th. So
Well, maybe when we're there, we can do a little bit of get some footage, and maybe we could talk with Derek, maybe get him on next month before
yeah,
they have the next one. He could talk a little bit about it. I know it's hard putting on an event, as a one man show, and it continuously gets bigger and bigger and
yeah,
bigger. With bigger, 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 there's always issues or problems. But I think that anything that's ever came up when I've been down there, I mean, I could say I've been to 60% of the bike
yeah.
nights that have been down there. It's been nothing but a great time. A lot of people, a lot of faces, familiar faces that you see, a lot of new. I know that there's a couple groups that come in from like Kentucky,
Yeah.
and some other groups, motorcycle groups that come in. So it's actually really, really cool. It's cool to see, and especially when you see some of the bikes you saw last year, and then you see what they did this year.
Yeah, see what
Usually
they did
that's
over the
what
winter.
happens.
Yeah, always those
Exactly,
those big
exactly.
changes. Hey, talking about changes, look in the background of my picture. We've got a
I
a,
see that, dude.
a
That's
flag
sexy.
that was shipped in from Chicago. Somebody up there sent it down, and then the Motor Misfits flag, flying, right beside it. So two new additions to the podcast area, which is in the Motor Misfits garage. If you look around, there's lots of projects going on. There's bikes kind of sitting everywhere. That haven't quite got finished up, ready for that riding season yet, but always, something to kind of tinker with, something to work on. So those are two big additions,
Abs-
but some other big additions that came. Let's see, when did we get those? Last week, 2 weeks ago, the patches that you got made.
I don't have one in front of me. I know you have them behind you.
Oh, hang on. You talk, I'll grab one.
So with each ride that we do, like we're doing the Uranus ride, and then we're also doing the Moonshiner run with the Devil's Triangle at the Memorial Day weekend. Anybody that is part of that group or that ride, I should say, we have patches that we designed with Craig and I. I kind of designed it, asked Craig what he thought about it, and and we kind of came up with a design. Now some of the designs are silly, and you could take it whatever you think this looks like or not. But if you've ever been to Uranus, you know that they are very they do a lot of wordplay on getting your fudge packed in Uranus. It's always moist in Uranus, so on and so forth. So, and their logo actually is a rocket ship. So, without further ado, so that is basically a rocket ship with the Motor Misfits logo. Anybody that goes on the ride for a $20 donation to the club will get one of those patches with that. Big shout out to Victory Leathers in Lockport, Illinois. Eddie and his wife Ginger did an amazing job on the patches. They were super affordable. And if you ever are looking to get any vests or any leather work or zipper work or patches or you name it, anything motorcycle riding paraphernalia and whatnot, check out Victory Leathers. They're in Lockport, Illinois. They're on eBay. They're got their own website and whatnot. We're working out possibly getting Eddie on here one day. Eddie is just an awesome guy, stand up dude, and I'm glad that they were able to knock this out. They've got a huge embroidery setup that they just purchased over the last couple of years, and they're starting to hone in on their craft. So it actually came out really, 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 really good.
And for those of you who don't go on the ride, there's still an opportunity for a Uranus memorabilia from the Motor Misfits, because not only did we get patches, we also got stickers.
Ooh, those are pretty dope.
Yeah. So, then patches limited edition. There's only so many of those, but stickers. I mean, we got quite a few of those. I mean, there's a pretty good stack there.
Quite a bit of those. So if you want a sticker or you want to purchase anything that we have, we do have a link for some t-shirts and
Yeah.
different leggings and stuff like that.
I'm telling you what,
Um,
those leggings are dope. Like if you got a chick, if you got a girl out there, like Easter's coming up,
they are
those
dope
those
looking.
leggings need to be in somebody's Easter basket for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. Speaking about Easter, you know, um, I know a lot of families have traditions and stuff like that, and you know. Does I know one thing, like with me now that my family's kind of the glue. Sometimes when you have family members that pass, the glue that holds the family together kind of goes away, so your family traditions change over time on that. But I know Easter's probably going to look a little bit different for myself, and I know for yourself too,
Yeah,
Craig. And
for sure.
but is there any like family tradition? Is there a dish that your wife makes, or I know you got your mom coming down.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
there a dish that you're like, I gotta have this dish, and mom's the only one, Jay's the only one that can make it?
So I got a funny story for you. Um, the ongoing tradition for my family is we always eat at 1 o'clock. It always has to be 1 o'clock. It doesn't matter, where it is, but dinner is always at 1 o'clock, and it's not really a dinner; it's a lunch. And even though dinner is supposed to be at 1, you're supposed to show up at least an hour before that so that you can talk and hang out and do whatever, and then eat, and then sit around and talk some more, and whatever. But that was always the ongoing joke. Once I got to the age that I could drive, I would always ask, hey, what time are we having this? Oh, well, dinner's at 1. And it took me forever to figure out that 1 o'clock eating doesn't mean show up at 1. It means show up, 11:30, 12 o'clock. So that's kind
Right.
of the tradition of the time. Now, my grandma she's in an assisted living. Always used to host, the family kind of get-togethers. And then my mom kind of took it over, and now it's kind of passed down to Jay and I to do that. But it's one of those that the tradition always kind of continues. It's always at 1 o'clock, and it's just a weird one. It's not a special dish. It doesn't have to. We tell people, bring whatever you want to eat, because hey, everybody else is gonna bring what they want to eat, and hopefully you eat what they like. So it's just kind of a mixture. And if you don't like what somebody else brought, just eat your own stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. Or just take a little bite and be like, yeah, it's not for me. So that when
Yeah.
when your family member says, oh, did you try my recipe that I brought? And you're like, yeah, it was great.
So I
It's like
got
one of those.
I got one for you. My great grandmother, always used to bring salads, and salads to me are lettuce, but salads don't have to have lettuce in them. And that's what
Mm-mm.
she would always bring. She would always bring a salad that didn't have lettuce in it. And she was famous for orange jello with carrots, like little shredded carrots cut up in it. And I can tell by your face right now, you already know. I don't eat things that are orange. Like orange is out. So that is double out
We're gonna
because
change that. We're gonna change that right here because you screwed me on the sardine thing. You know what? If we get 20, you give me a number. Give me a realistic number. We'll keep
okay.
it 100. Do 100 because that's what I did for
Well,
sardines.
here's what I'm going to do. I'm not even going to go 100. I'm going to go because that was 100 views. We don't have to get 100 views. I want us to get to, um, let's see, 140 or 140 followers or I think it's likes on our Facebook page. I don't know how many we have. I know we're over 100, but I don't think we're to 140 yet. So that's
I
going to be
gotcha.
the number. If we can get to 140 Facebook likes of our Motor Misfits page, I'll eat something orange.
How about we do this? I'll even do it with you. We'll make great grand. Now, what was great grandma's name?
Daisy, Grandma Daisy.
Okay, we're gonna make Grandma Daisy's Jello mold with shredded carrots, and we're gonna eat that. That's what we're gonna do. Orange, orange Jello, orange
Hey,
carrots.
I'm good for one bite.
um, but yeah, no, that's definitely an interesting. I could say salads. You know,
Well,
my aunt who. Go ahead.
everybody has that movie in mind, Christmas Vacation, where grandma, or aunt, great aunt, or whatever, shows up with the
Yep,
Jello mold with cat food in it or whatever. And
yep, yep.
it's like, and it's funny because my daughter now says that, oh, she loves salad. Salad's her favorite thing, and she goes in and she'll eat potato salad, macaroni salad, and she's like, I
Yeah,
want to see how
anything
many.
that has mayonnaise and cheese
I want to
and
see how many salads I can eat, and none of them have lettuce in it. So,
yeah, one thing like I'll say, with family food, my aunt who actually recently passed away about a month ago, she would always bring salads. Like that's what salads, and she would bring um, a pickle beet tray. So it would be
oh,
different
those are
pickles.
awesome.
It would be like dill, gherkins, bread and
Yeah.
butter, and then pickled beets or whatever. And she always had this little. Do you ever see an olive picker?
Yes.
So it's like this big, and we would always try taking it from her, but she would be like, "Where's it at? Give it back to me." Like she would be patting us down.
Yeah.
But going to salads, my aunt would make. Now, when I was younger, I hated it. but I like it now. It was a 6 or 7 bean salad.
Yeah. Yep.
So
I
it
know
had
that
like
one.
wax beans and green beans and all sorts of, and it's really good because she did like a vinegar, sugar,
What's the place
whatever.
that we went and ate that had the bean salad? What's that place?
That's Marishka's, but that's
Yeah.
kidney bean salad.
Oh,
No,
well,
they
I
did
don't.
have a 7 bean salad.
Yeah. See?
Okay, so like kind of an old school.
Yeah.
My family originally, we're all mutts nowadays, but it's like the Finnish side, and they'll do like smoked fish, which I think is disgusting,
Oh,
and
but you're gonna try it.
pat pasties. I always, when I was up there, I would give everybody shit and say it's pasties, but it's called pasties. And because down by you're in Amish country, it's a hand pie, but they call it
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
pasties. Um, but my aunt probably, I could put anybody's fruit salad up against my aunt's, and my aunt would win. My aunt would literally cut blueberries in fours. She would cut grapes into eights. So every time that you ate some
Yeah,
fruit
you
salad,
got some of
you
all the
had
fruit.
everything. And I would be like, she's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" Or "What do you want? What do you want me to bring?" I'd be like, "Your fruit salad." She's like, "Okay." And it's a whole like week ordeal.
Yeah, because it's got to
You know what I mean?
sit
Like,
in the juices and stuff.
yep. But it's got to be perfect because if you let it go one more day, everything becomes soggy. And
Yeah.
she knew when to add it, like the
Yep.
plums and whatnot. So it was my aunt had awesome salads. It's weird. Salads are a big thing,
Yeah.
the now on the other hand, my aunt would always bring a fancy salad like apples and gorgonzolas and candy walnuts with a homemade raspberry vinaigrette.
Yeah.
Then it becomes a salad. But it's weird with traditions. As you're younger, you go to so many different places for Easter, but as you get older, you realize everything's kind of one or two places. Like, so with me, my parents got divorced at a very young age. I think I was like 4 or 5. So I would go, okay, I'm with my mom, and I would go, in the morning. And then at night, I would be with my dad. And so my mom has a pretty good sized family. My dad, I think last time we counted, I think I have, uh, I'm going to like, probably like I have 6 or 7 aunts, and I have like 12 or 15 cousins and like 22 second cousins. So we would all be in this house, and it would just be we would do the Easter egg dyeing and
Yeah.
everything like that. But as you get older, and people pass, you kind of go into like, okay, now I less places.
Yep.
Now, when I was married, um, I would have to go to my mom's side of the family, my dad's side of the family, her mom and dad, her mom and her dad. So I would literally
Yeah. Four
leave at eight
Easters.
o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, and not get home till 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And so you would have to pace yourself
Yep.
of, what am I going to eat? Am I going to eat this? I'm going to eat this. Am I
Yeah.
going to eat this?
Yeah. Can I spread it out some so that you don't get somewhere and they're like, hey, grab a plate, and you're like, I literally just ate 20 minutes ago. I can't eat anymore.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm getting sidetracked here. You're lucky there wasn't a mirror behind me. You're lucky there wasn't a mirror behind
No,
me.
but there is a
You can
great
only.
picture behind
Oh,
you that does reflect. So I mean, everybody
shout
out
out to
there.
mom.
Yep.
Pew, pew,
Big,
pew, pew.
big shout out. That's a diamond art from mom who's knocking those out. So she,
Mom's awesome.
yeah, she's got a whole craft room that she's doing diamond art in, and it's just covered with diamond art everywhere.
You know what? We should just grab a ton of her diamonds and just mix them up and just say, okay, you have to diamond art the whole wall.
So funny story. She can take a picture of anything. She can take a picture of you and send it off, and they will make it into a diamond art, and then she like does it. one of her friends did it for their dogs, and they have two little dogs, and she now has a diamond art of these two little dogs.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah,
very,
so
very cool.
be ready. You're gonna get a diamond art of yourself sitting there just like that.
Nice.
I'll freeze frame that for her, send it to her, be like, hey, I need this diamond art ready to go.
So, but yeah, like traditions and whatnot are just kind of, now does your family use, do you do ham or what is your like main
So
dish?
so it's all over the place. Some when you get enough people together, that people like ham, other people don't. So you've got to have something else. So you have ham and maybe a chicken breast or turkey or something else out there. And it turns into you've got 700 different things, and you end up eating the same stuff for 3 weeks after Easter's over because you've got all this food.
Yeah, yeah, that's one thing that's like it sucks hosting. I know you
Yeah.
and Jay are hosting, but you're always left with, and I'm notorious with this. Be like, oh, do you want to take your container with you? No, throw it away. I don't want it. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to take it home
It's
because
gotten
it's
to the
gonna
point
sit in
now.
my fridge because
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
gotten
even
to the
want
point
it.
now where we tell people bring containers with you, like literally bring containers with you, and we will fill them up and send them home because I can only eat ham for so long.
Right. Now, do you when you make ham, do you get a ham with the bone or do you just get like just a little spiral ham?
No, so that okay. Let's go with that. Tradition for the Akers family is you have to get a Kentucky Legend ham.
Okay.
That's the name brand of it, and we then take cloves and stick cloves in it all over,
Right.
and then you take pineapple and lay it on top, and then you
Are we
take
talking canned pineapple,
yes,
chunked pineapple? What are we doing?
canned pineapple, the rings, pineapple rings,
Okay, pineapple
and
rings, got it.
and then you take maraschino cherries and put that on top of it.
Okay,
Of course,
sweet.
dump some of the juice on there, and then you're
Right.
going to take brown sugar and sprinkle it over the top.
Up
Little brown,
next on Cooking with Craig.
a little brown sugar on the top, little sprinkle. And then there's a secret ingredient that I can't tell you because it's a family tradition, but you'll never guess, and I actually hate it. But it makes the ham really good. And you put
Orange
that on it.
marmalade.
Ooh, good guess, but no, you're on the right track. Um, put that on it, and then you bake it, and you baste it every 15 minutes with the juice that comes out. Baste it on top. Best ham you ever had. It will change your
Beautiful.
life.
Well, I'll have to one time come down for Easter and try said ham.
Well, I mean, I'm available this upcoming Sunday.
Now, are you having Easter Sunday or are you having it Saturday?
So we're having Easter Saturday. Other stuff is going on Sunday. Other families couldn't come in, couldn't do stuff. So, doing it Saturday so that then people can go and do other sides Sundays. And that's something that I've learned as I've gotten older. Everybody's like, "Oh, you've got to have Easter on Easter. You've got to have Christmas on Christmas." And we've come to the realization that it's not the day that matters; it's the people
No,
that
it's
you're getting
not.
together with is what matters. And when people can make it, that's when you do it. So that's the way this Easter is. People can make it on Saturday, so that's when we're doing it. Last year I think Christmas. I think we had it. I think we had Christmas the 27th last year.
Yeah,
Had
you had it later.
because everybody could get together then. They couldn't get together, on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day or any of that. So we had it the 27th, and that's what we've realized as we've gotten older that the actual day doesn't matter. It's being able to get together with people and hanging out and having a good time. So
Absolutely. I mean that's really what about. I mean it shouldn't. It sucks that like a I don't want to say a national holiday, but Easter is a national holiday. It
yeah,
sucks that bigger holidays have to like that's like the reason when you start seeing like the family members that you really never see
yeah,
like you feel obligated,
yeah,
which sucks is like hey like here next weekend myself and Veronica are going to come down and see you and it's just we're coming down there, you know what I mean, but
yeah.
it's like that's how it should be like when it comes like families or hey I'm coming over or whatever.
So a new tradition that mom has picked up on is family, and family is it always had been, who you were related to, who was born in, and all that kind of stuff. And mom has realized that that's not really what family is. Family is whoever, when you need something, whoever shows up. That's family.
Hmm.
And it was weird for her. In the past 2 weeks, she's really found out that there's family from all over that she didn't even know she had, and that
Right.
when she needs something, there's all kinds of people who can show up. And she didn't realize it, and now she gets it. She like, oh, if I need something, and she calls you, you're showing up.
For sure, for sure. And then, it's but that's the old school mentality. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because, you know, when your mom, was growing up, and your mom's still a young lady, but she was like family's family. So it's like when they had family get-togethers, and she may had a friend over, or whatever, it was, hey, send your friend home. We're having
yeah,
family dinner. Now it's, hey, pull up a chair.
yeah.
So and so. Why don't you eat dinner with us and
I may not
whatnot?
even know
So
your name or your last name, but hey, you're here, and somebody says you're a good person, so you're gonna sit down and you're gonna eat with us and hang out, and we're gonna get to know
right.
you. So
And that's one thing I've noticed about you and your family and mom. You guys got a big, probably the biggest hearts out there, heart of gold. And your me and Craig have known each other, what now? What, 5 years,
5 years
six
or so,
years?
yeah, something like that.
And we've been through some tears, and we've been through the happy times and the sad times and angry times to each other, between each other.
Yeah.
But I will say this, no matter what, it's always been, you always have a place to crash your head. Don't even call me, just the door's open.
Yep.
We'll know the minute you hit the driveway, because the dogs will let us know. There's always a seat at your table.
Yep. And it
And there's no, and you guys do not, um what's the word I want to say, you do not judge.
no, nope.
It's, we all go through some stuff and whatnot, and especially over the last couple of weeks, and I'm not going to go into it, but you can. But I'm sure that you needed a lot of, you and your entire family just needed that feeling of love
Oh
and
yeah.
um and whatnot. So I'm grateful to have you as a friend.
Oh yeah, for
Not
sure.
even a friend, but as a brother, as family.
Yeah, well, and
You
and
know.
that, you touched on it a little bit. So, about, what was it, 2 weeks ago? I think maybe a little more than that. 3 weeks ago, be 3 Saturdays ago. My dad ended up passing away, and it was a shock kind of to everybody. And that's when mom realized what family is. Family is the, people that you're born into, but it's also more than that. And mom really got to see it firsthand when, she put out, when the arrangements were, and all of that stuff. And everybody showed up. And it
Yeah.
it wasn't an easy time for anybody. It wasn't an easy time, for that to happen. And everybody showed up. Everybody that we consider family was there, and that's something that my dad would have been proud of. And that's what I said during his eulogy, that if you were there, present, you were considered family to him. And that's the way that
Yeah.
we've done it. We've extended it, and that's the way we think. If you're
Right.
there, if it's important for you, you're family, and we're going to treat you that way.
I will say it was a beautiful service. Your sister, I mean, your eulogy was very, very heartfelt, and you can definitely tell you took a long time to write it and come up with that. Your sisters, I've learned so much about your dad that I never knew.
Yeah.
And I wish, I met your dad, Steve, a couple times. Um, very, more and more that I play the eulogy or, think about it, I could see that, your dad was a listener.
Yeah.
And he probably was one of the smartest people in the room anytime he walked in, but he didn't let people know it. He was one
Yep.
of those people that, and I think one of the characteristics that you got from your dad is that I've noticed you are very intelligent, but you don't go off and start saying, "Hey, well, this is what it is, and this is what it is, and this is what it is." I mean, which is a great characteristic. I'm not downplaying that.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Um,
I'd rather
but
people kind of figure it out for themselves than me tell them. Because if you figure it out for yourself,
it,
you're gonna remember it. You're gonna know it. If I tell you, you're gonna forget it, and you're gonna call me up in 3 weeks and be like, "Hey, what was that?"
exactly, and I just remember when we were at your mom's house right around. It wasn't. It was Christmas.
Yeah, it was
It was. It
Christmas.
was. You guys were celebrating your Christmas. It was no. It was New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Yeah, because you guys came down
So
after Christmas. So yeah.
yeah. So it was New Year's Eve that you celebrated with mom and Steve, and it was just amazing how they opened up their house and said, "Come on over," and let us stay with them and at least to share with Steve, some Ariacinis and
Yeah.
some Superside and whatnot. So, but he was a great man, and he'll forever live, in memories. And I was telling Sarah that I was like, I wish I got to know him a little bit better. You know what I mean? Just because,
Yeah.
we kind of were shooting the shit a little bit about football was going on, the national championship, and
Yep.
we were talking about Notre Dame and Ohio and whatnot. You can definitely tell he enjoyed his sports,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
sure I would have loved to talk to him about NCAA and find out what his thoughts were on the
Yep.
the Final Four and whatnot. But your mom's got more support than she ever would need.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which is awesome, which is awesome. So, but yeah, so family traditions, they're going to change, they're going to come, they're going to go, but it's always good to remember the stories that you have with them. There's always that one thing that happens at every family get together, whether it's, you know, somebody's drinking too much tequila, somebody left the ham on the kitchen table and the dog ate it, which my mom made a roast one year, and my mom's dog, we're all done with dinner, right? And so usually what happens is when everybody's done with dinner, what do? You kind of disperse,
Yeah.
and then because you don't want to sit in the kitchen and clean up. You're like, oh, let me go sit down for a couple minutes. Well, we all went to separate rooms, come back, the dog's on the table eating the freaking roast, and it was a really good roast. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah, but there
but
were no
man, that dog
leftovers.
was loving it. She was
Yeah.
loving it. Um, but yeah, that's family traditions and food is always the memories, and it like makes you feel home, at home,
Oh yeah.
like talking about, you were saying what your great grandmother would. You probably hated it,
Oh yeah.
but once it never came to those holiday
Yeah.
parties, you're just like,
It's
it needs to be there even if you don't eat it.
yeah.
It has to be there because that's
Yep.
great grandma.
Yep.
That's
For
great grandma
sure.
Daisy. So,
Yep.
but I think at that, I think we could probably be a good ending point.
Yeah. We
Um,
we need your
one thing,
your thought
yeah,
for the week.
I'm. Don't forget the memories that you make, whether they're positive or negative. They're always memories that you keep with you, and grow from those memories.
Hey, that's a good one. I like that. I like that. That's
So,
some good food for thought for the upcoming week. So, um, wow. Apparently my light thought it should shut off.
it's telling us, it's like it's a sign.
Yeah.
So it's time. It's 10 o'clock your time. It says
Yep.
let's go to bed.
There we go. There we go. So with
So
that, let's go ahead and sign off on this one. Dan, give you the final sign off.
see you guys next week.